freedom, but they don't really give us freedom. They just advertise it. They just fucking, they advertise debt slavery under a banner that says freedom. You know, and we just fucking eat it up. You just say freedom, and we just like, yeah, freedom! Which way to freedom? In this cage is the freedom? All right. We just fucking, Politician says freedom for anything. We just picture William Wallace riding on a giant eagle, just jacking off as he goes. Freedom! I mean, Wallace was jacking off, not the eagle. That'd be fucking weird. I feel like riding on a giant eagle's already a little unstable. And then you're like, what are you doing? Dude! I just wonder whether we're advancing. Like, are we advancing? It's been 15 years since 9/11. We're still bombing the Arab world. It's been 5 years since Occupy, and the banks are the biggest they've ever been. They own fucking everything. They own everything. The other day, Bank of America came into my apartment and just took my cat's youth. I had a young cat. They gave me an old cat. It's like, you guys own everything. In order to advance, to get towards the society we want, you've got to fucking work towards that shit. You got to practice and prepare. But are we really working towards peace? There's no Department of Peace. There's not even a dude in charge of peace. There's not a dude. And if there were, some asshole would shoot him in the face immediately. We don't work towards peace. The military-industrial complex is the largest fucking money laundering scheme ever created. It's $1 trillion a year taken from taxpayers in order to turn those dollars into Raytheon dollars and Boeing dollars and Lockheed Martin dollars. They've got to keep that machine going. It doesn't matter who the fucking president is. It continues to fucking roll along. Yeah, it's called Deep State. Damn straight, Deep State. It is, and you know, I'm trying not to get too weird up here, but yeah, Deep State. You know, like, we should be working towards a world of peace. We should be working towards a world with far fewer jobs where we all have to work a lot less. Unless... It used to be, in the 60s or 70s, the minimum wage was $1.60. And if that had kept up with income distribution, it would now be $21 an hour. All right? You used to be able to afford a whole family on one salary. Now you can't afford a whole drinking habit. You know? Not to mention a whole family of drinking habits. You can't. We should be preparing for far fewer jobs, and that should be a good thing. That should mean, technology should mean less work for all of us. But instead, we just, all that savings of time and money goes to the 1%, or really the 0.1%, and while all of us just fucking, it's like we're on treadmills. We're just hamsters on treadmills fucking running our asses off, and they just slowly take away the treadmills. Yeah. And we just hop onto the other treadmill and then fucking start pummeling it's my fucking treadmill! And we beat the shit out of it. And no one ever goes, why are we on these treadmills? No one ever does. Never comes up. Never comes up. And you know, all the politicians are like, I'll bring more treadmills. I will get you lots of treadmills. I'll speed up the treadmills. You'll get to run faster. And we're like, that sounds really good. All right. Okay. There's none of them. There's not a politician out there who's like, how about we not run on these treadmills? Bernie. Well, Bernie said a lot of great things. He didn't say that. Whenever we're told we don't have enough money for all this big infrastructure, big technology stuff, fucking bullet chains going across the country, all this shit, we have more money than you could ever fucking imagine, all right? We have 1,000 military bases around the world. We just, a tiny dot of that. We spend $1 trillion a year on military, roughly. You know, our announced budget is $600 billion, but then there's more than that. And meanwhile, the UN estimates it would cost $30 billion. We spend $1 trillion, $30 billion per year to end world hunger. Per year. A drop in the bucket. Why are we not doing that? Why are we would have more security than this country has ever had. No one's gonna bomb the country that ended world hunger. You're not getting 72 virgins for that. You'd be lucky to get a baker's dozen that aren't really into it, you know? The country that ended world hunger? What, we're gonna leave it to Bono to handle that shit? Ew, why are we leaving all the ended world hunger pussy for Bono? No, I say we need a class war, all right? We need a class war perpetrated by the other 99% of the mind. Not the violent kind, because that requires a lot of running and jumping, and there's like, you gotta throw the pitchfork, and I got a shoulder thing. I can't really get a good arc on that. And plus, then where do you get a pitchfork this day and age, right? So you gotta go buy pitchforks, and then they're gonna realize there's a run on pitchforks, and they're gonna jack up the price, can't even afford the pitchfork, all right? So then you're working 3 jobs just to get a pitchfork. So no, we need a class war of the mind. We need a revolution in thought. We need to... Instead, we're turning on each other, right? We're arresting each other for fucking nothing. We've got militarized police protecting the corporate profits right now in Standing Rock. Standing Rock is the best. It's a beautiful metaphor for this whole system. You've got lines of militarized police protecting an oil pipeline, an inanimate object from the people the people they've sworn to protect. And then they go, we don't understand. There's so much violence from the protesters. Yeah, right. Here's the thing. If you don't dress like that and not fucking brutalize people. You don't dress like fucking riot cops and do peaceful things. No one dresses like Rambo and acts like Gandhi. That's not a thing. Not a thing. No one dresses like a porn star and acts like a Mennonite, okay? No one does. And if you thought that was offensive towards women, there are male porn stars. I am sick of your gender normative bullshit. If you still think there's not enough money around to do all of this stuff we want to do, to fucking feed everybody, to put in all the infrastructure we want, to have good schools, just remember that when the banks collapsed in 2008, the Federal Reserve invented $1 trillion to make sure it could all keep running. Would you play a game of chess with a guy who every time he needed to just added his pieces back onto the board? And you're like, wow, he's a really good chess player. If I just worked harder. No, you'd flip over the fucking board. You'd flip over the board and then you'd click that little clock as a final fuck you.